Hello and welcome to the April 2024 energy update. Yes, this is a few days late, which actually is totally on par for April, and I appreciate your patience with getting this out there. April is very much about fire energy, and there's a good chance that you've come across that type of interpretation before. But specifically, I want to hone in on fire as a way of initiating healing or calling our attention to what is a boundary versus something that we are willing to co-create and investigate with others. It will be different in every case by case basis. So it's really an important time to discern what it is that you need when that anger comes up. Do you need to let it move through you? Do you need to find a way to get to a body of water or earth to ground in just to kind of like let it settle for a bit before you're able to process it? These are all of the things that we are being asked to practice in the month of April. We are also finding fire to be a great way to release and clear. And in particular, I'm seeing that we might see some clearing of things that we frequently call cancel culture or othering, ostracizing, because some cards came through around being quick to judge, quick to decide, and quick to express that decisiveness. We might find that throughout the month of April, we get opportunities to see what happens when we express quick decisiveness about others and their opinions and their viewpoints and kind of learn from that process. So what are the ways in which we can practice tolerance for others having different perspectives? What are the ways in which we can allow for there to be multiple angles, multiple approaches to a complex challenge or to a path that we are walking together? As we are being invited to release and clear those things, we're being invited to look at the lessons of what these practices hold in store for us. We are looking a lot at our fear of making a wrong decision or fear of being judged or fear of closing a door that might have been the quote unquote right path for us. What I want to say about this is that number one, I struggle with this a lot. So when I say this, I am preaching to myself as much as I am to you, and these are great reminders for me as well. But when we think about avoiding making a decision for fear of making the wrong decision, that practice of avoiding or trying to circumvent the decision is actually what makes us more likely to make the wrong decision. And the reason why is because when we sit in a place of, I'm not sure, let me sit with it, let me sit on the fence for a while longer and a while longer, the moment in time in which that right decision was the right thing at that right place and time has already passed because we've spent more time sitting with it than what was like intended for that decision. So what that means is that because we protract or extend the amount of time we spend considering a decision, we allow that moment in time to pass us by such that even the right decision is now no longer in the appropriate timing. So by that point, the right decision is almost like it's a moot point. It can no longer have the same potency or impact that it would have had we made it within that intended window of time. So um, it's really important for us to move in flow and to do the next right thing that is available to us. This is true both in our own inner world of, oh, do I want to take this promotion or do I want to, apply to new roles? Whatever those decisions are that you're making in your own life, this do the next right thing mantra is also important in our larger sphere. What we're seeing for April is the possibility of contention, for infighting, for, people being pitted against one another. Now, that won't be true for all of us. That won't be everyone's personal experience, but we do see that possibility because of this fire energy coming up. And when we see that, it can feel overwhelming or potentially even disheartening to see, wow, there's so much, heartbreak and tension and fighting happening in the world. Like, what am I to do about it? The answer is do what you can with what you have in your own space. I've heard some people express this, like Lee Harris, in the frame of start with your own address. Do what you can in your own home to create joy, to create connection, to create compassion, rather than feeling like you are hopeless against these forces that are larger than you. Start with what you can, where you are, with what you have. Now, these are some pretty complex things we're being asked to navigate this month, but it's not all, complexity. It's not all digging in. There is some levity here. In particular, this is a great month to practice leaning into your intuition and trusting yourself. Follow those moments of inspiration, those moments of spark. If you feel called to share something with a friend or post something online, go for it. Everybody's tossing everything out anyway with this fire energy. Why shouldn't you be among them? Why not you as everyone else is expressing themselves? Now, you may find that some people don't receive what you put out there in the way that you had intended. Maybe it doesn't receive as much acclaim as you anticipated, or maybe someone misinterprets what you were getting at. And so, in those moments, it's important to disconnect from the expectation and come back to what is in your heart. What is in your heart to express? What were you hoping to bring forward? Does it have that meaning for you? And who are you in your heart of hearts? What kind of human being are you, even as others are, potentially critiquing or dissecting your work? But that intuitive piece, that creative expression piece is really alive for us this month. So follow that, follow those impulses, follow those flows, and have some fun with it. One of the other aspects of fire is that it can be a really fun energy. It's the kind of energy that makes us want to gather around the campfire and roast s'mores together. It's the kind of thing that makes us want to dance around a fire, right? So don't be afraid to embrace those lighthearted and energizing moments along with some of the things that it's asking you to tussle with. There are some mantras that may be able to help you this month. One is that creativity is a wave. Sometimes it crashes, but if you can follow it through all the way to the shore, enjoy those moments of flow. That is what will keep you going this month as you ride the bumps and waves of creative expression. And lastly, as we're in this fire month, I know it's probably a cliche at this point, but it really is important to focus on your self-care. If it helps, remember that self-care is actually us care. When I take care of me, I'm more able to see the light in myself, which means I'm more able to see the joy, the potential, the awesomeness in you because I've already cultivated that in myself. So when I take care of me, I'm actually taking care of you and I'm taking care of all of us. So those are some of the things that might be able to give you a boost in moments where you're feeling uncertain. The other things that you can do are to ask your guides for reminders of the love that does exist in the world. Ask them to send you signals, ask them to send you reminders. Likewise, take the opportunity to cull your social media feed, to reconsider which news outlets and data sources you are getting information from. This is a time where we are asked to carry our weather, which is really a saying around, you do take part in creating your reality. It doesn't mean that you have control over everything, but do take an intentional look at the things that you can influence and that you can have decisiveness around in terms of the energy that you allow into your sphere. So if you're feeling like your feed is not showing the truths that you want to be seeing, if you're feeling like that feed could use a little bit more of those like animal cute mashup videos just to give you a boost throughout the day, go for it. Be kind with yourself, honor what feels true for you, and ask for more of that to be shown in the sources that are coming through to you. All right. So what is all of this for, right? Like this is the question that I come back to when I'm like, okay, I'm being asked to tussle with fire energy. I'm looking at, how my feed is impacting me. I'm looking at creative flow. There's a lot here. What is it all for? Why are we doing this anyway? April is a month where we are allowed to see a little snippet of the beginning of the end. By that, I mean, we are seeing the initial crumbling, the questioning of old systems, patterns, beliefs that are no longer serving us. This is tempered a bit with a reminder to be patient, to exercise temperance, and to remember that these sorts of changes do not take place overnight. So this is not the time to go around yelling to people like, we're in it, we're in the new age. Like, we're not quite there yet, but you'll be able to see some of those early instances where the old is starting to really crumble under its own weight, or just the linchpins are being pulled out a bit here and there. So that's an exciting thing to hear for many of us who are questioning, like, how are we still operating with greed and manipulation as the norm? you're going to see some of that come into greater question in the collective sphere. And that's again why it's so important to root into what is true for you, take care of yourself, and allow for that energy of anger or fire to move through you in a way that it needs to. I hope that this has been helpful. I am sending you all the good vibes for a creatively expressive and expansive month in this time of April 2024. And yeah, just sending you big hugs. Take care.